still be parenting in different ways. Soon you become a grandma, and then you take on grandma duty. So it really never ends. But how is it when you will have to do it all by yourself as a woman? Through pregnancy, sometimes. Once conception sets in, some way, somehow, the other party says that they are no longer interested. And this is a woman who wants to keep their child. So you go through the whole process, the whole 9 years, sometimes on your own. Sometimes you're doing it with the person, and in the middle of it, they abandon you, and you have to take care of it all by yourself. This morning, we want to celebrate the resilience of some of these women, the resilience of single motherhood, their journey, their stories. And most importantly for me, we're doing this because there are lots of young people who are finding themselves on this path daily. And you hear stories of people abandoning their children. They carry their children and they abandon them. People are selling their children, How do you do it when you find yourself? Of course, it's not what you wish for yourself, but sometimes you end up finding yourself here. They have walked the path. You should be seeing this woman. Oh. Hi, Antina. Good morning to you. Antina, can you hear me? Okay, we can still hear you, Antina. Please, have you unmuted? Okay, we'll have that sorted out. I have Miriam here in the studio. Hey, Miriam.
Hi,
I wish we were on TV proper. But yeah, you can check her out on social media. I don't know if she wants me to say all the things I know, but you should see her. Wow, Miriam, good morning.
Good morning.
And good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, madam, we need a poll like Miyahima.
Me and you are not fine.
Oh, Edem, don't do that. And you see, because you and I are not fine, or you are not fine with me. Antina, can you hear me now? Oh, can we help Antina sort out her microphone, please? So because you are not fine with me, because I had to drag Antina to wake up at dawn and sit on Zoom and have this conversation. Yesterday, she said her heart was all over the place. And then I had to get Miriam to also come and talk. You know what we have done? Oh, wow. Daniela and I, we got in touch with Labadi. And at your own convenience, breakfast or lunch or dinner, you go for, so you get to go with one person, yay. That's the chuka. That's the chuka right there. So please, I'm using that to compensate you. And what is a very big thank you to Labadi Future? Does that work? It works, yay. But why can't I hear Antina? Hi, Antina, can you hear me now? I think she can hear me, but I am unable to hear her. Could you kindly call and let's have it sorted out? Okay. So we have that just to celebrate you and say congratulations. So Happy Mother's Day. And thank you for coming on Home Affairs to share your story. I'll start with you, Miriam. How did you come into single motherhood?
Edem,
So let me do the introductions properly. Miriam McCaffrey Agbeme, she is an entrepreneur. I also have Miss Martha Ayoko Clark. I call her Antina. She's a retired management executive. And then I have Edem Atipo. Edem is the founder of Echo Foundations. And Edem, should I add that you're a politician? Yeah, she's a politician.
Yeah.
And she likes to be called Miyahima. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
It's interesting how you all have walked your path. Antina, I can hear you now. Good morning again. Oh dear. It's interesting how you all have walked your path and you're doing very well and you all look very amazing. Congratulations and thank you once again for coming to share.
Thank you.
Miriam, we come back.
Edem, being a single mother is not a choice for any woman, but circumstances.
Yeah.
I have never been married,
Okay.
so I won't say I got married and became a single mother.
Okay.
I was very young then in the training college. So I would say um, youthful exuberant. I wanted to actually try something. It was my first time actually.
Wow.
And then I got pregnant. I didn't even know.
Wow.
So I went back to school. And even though I wasn't having my menses, I'm like, oh, I know when you are pregnant, you vomit, you are sick, you are that, you are all that. But
And none
then
of that was
I
happening.
wasn't feeling any of those things. So I took it like, okay, maybe it's just my period that wasn't regular. Then I think around 6 months.
Really?
Yes, I was so lanky, and there was, you wouldn't see anything. I was still wearing my uniform. I was in a training college. I was wearing my uniform. All right. So I visited my auntie in Tema, and then I realized something. I was having some movement in my tummy. So I told her about it, and then we went to the general hospital. So when we got there, the doctor was like, lie down. So with Vim, I lay, and then my tummy actually protruded a bit. The doctor was like, "You're pregnant." I said, "No." I said, "Well, pregnant." I said, "Okay, then go and have the test and come." In fact, at that time, I didn't know what was I was going through, but I went, had a test, and then I couldn't even wait to bring it to the doctor. You know, those days there was nothing like it was manual. I was
Yes.
given a paper, so I opened it on the way and saw positive.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. So I got to the doctor and he was like, see, it's confirmed. So what do I not? I'm in school. The doctor said, but where this thing has gotten to,
You can't do anything.
there's nothing I
about
can do
it.
about it. So you just have to keep it. Ah, that was the blue. So at that particular moment, I started feeling the symptoms.
Psychologically.
Yes. So
Wow. And nobody noticed it in school.
nobody noticed it. Nobody. My mates, no one noticed. So I went back
Wow.
to school, and I had to go through school with it. So fortunately, when we vacated in December, I gave birth and then went back to school in January. Left the baby with my mom and then went back to school in January. So because it was far advanced, we tried contacting the guy, but he said he denied. He said he wasn't responsible
dear.
because those days too, no phones for you to make a call, so we have to pass through here, traces and all that. By the time the message got to him,
Hold on. You were in a relationship with this?
no, it wasn't a relationship. We were
Wow.
we were on vacation and I visited my auntie in Tema, Smith Flat, Dansoma.
And it happened.
No, Dansoma, yes, Smith Flat. So like the place was so boring. So in the evening, I think he was also on holidays there. So in the evening, we all come down and then have a chat and we go back. So one of the days he just said, oh, the friend is having a birthday party. So if I'm interested, we should go together. So I followed. I didn't even know Accra so well. So I just followed him. We went and apparently there was no party happening anywhere. And the two of us, I wouldn't say he raped me. No, he wasn't. He didn't rape me. It's just that he started touching and by the time we realized that it happened. And because I was so naive, I just left for school. And
Wow. Wow. I can understand why, such a person would end up saying that, like
not
how.
right,
And
yeah.
it's after 6 long months.
Yeah, after
You weren't in contact with him. You didn't have any way of contacting him. This is serious. So after school, baby was with mommy.
Baby was with mommy. I was in my second
But
year
you had
then.
support from your mother.
Oh yes, she was very supportive. My mom
Great.
was very supportive. Together with my other aunties, they were all supportive. So I left the baby and then went back to school because I did not breastfeed and I didn't have any proper care for myself.
Yourself.
My breast became swollen
Wow.
when I went back to school. So I had to come back home and it was a whole lot of treatments.
Oh.
Yes, I went through that and fortunately completed. So when I completed, I went to I left the baby. I was posted to Ofuansi
Wow.
or down Ofuansi, Ayoebi
Yeah,
side.
they're about.
Yes. So I was still young and looking good. So
You are still looking good, madam. Ace. Ace.
so that was it. I didn't go with her, a baby girl. I didn't go with her, but I had a guy. I was still trying. I had a guy who was very interested. So when I told him I had a child, he said, "No, it can't be true.
Wow.
That I was just saying something for him to
ward
leave me
him
alone." So when we vacated, I came home. I went back with a girl, with a small girl. That was when he saw it and said, "Oh, so truly you had a child." I didn't want to have anything to do with a woman
Who
who has
already has
a child. So I said, "Okay, that's fine," and that was it. So Adam, over there, I got a responsible man. I met another responsible man. He was there for me. From my first experience, the other guy who says he doesn't have anything to do with a woman who has a child, this one was like accepted as
Yeah.
like, oh, he was
By
there.
which time was your daughter living with you now?
Yes.
Okay.
He
That's
was
beautiful.
there. My daughter was even fond of him more than myself.
Wow.
Eventually, the second one came. For him, he was there from day one. We were not married. We were there from day one. And then by 6 months time, this man vanished.
Wow.
Not a word from him.
Wow.
6 months. And my son is now 27 years.
And you haven't heard from him till today?
Yeah, we tried. And he's in South Africa. The boy even went to visit him.
Oh, so now you are in touch with him?
Not me.
The son
is in touch with him.
Okay. After how many years?
26 years.
He
After
got in touch
26.
with him only after
Yeah,
26
last year,
years.
just last year.
Jesus Christ.
Last year.
So you were saddled with taking care of the two children.
Yes, I did. Yes.
How did you do that?
I just told myself I need to sacrifice. In the first place, they did not ask me to bring them into this world. So,
Wow.
from the girl, even when I was in the training college, anytime my alawa is ready,
You send it.
I have to run. I go take care of her. Sometimes I don't even have money to come back to school.
Oh.
I have to be asking for money to come back to school. So it's it became I didn't want to leave her alone. I felt she was supposed to be my companion. Then well, if everyone else will not accept me, she should be the one there for me.
Yeah.
So I was with her all this while. And it hasn't been easy. Edem, I was doing all sorts of things. Selling all sorts of things. Like
Just to make it.
because I was a teacher then, so nkati cake, ice cream, a whole lot.
Wow.
Just to be able to care for us. So eventually the boy also came and
Double the trouble.
double. It was double.
And where was your mom by this time?
My mom, after my firstborn, had to further her studies at Cape. So she
Okay.
was doing her master's at Cape Vaz. But she was then, after then, she was teaching at Terrace School.
Okay.
Always. So I had to send the children to her. So I'm in my Obolo season now.
Wow.
I haven't been this fat
Before.
in my whole
Oh, fatness in
Empony. I'm always on the move.
Wow.
I'm always on the move. So eventually my mother asked that I bring the kids to her and then further my education, because she realized that I was thinking too much and the burden was so much. So I had to apply for Winneba, University of Education. So
Wow.
I went. After 4 years, when I came back, I was posted to Usuprisec
Wow.
for my internship, and later I was taken in as a full-time teacher. So I went for them from my mother.
Okay.
She was then in Hohwe. So I brought the two of them to Accra. I thought I was going to have it easy. You know, teacher's salary is not something that you can even count on. So, fortunately, at Osupresec, I met some friends who were there for me all along. So, I said they have to, the best I can give them is education. So, Edem, I think in my case, it was sacrifice. Because even when my friends were going to further their education, to do their masters, Miriam, get the form. I did not tell them my story, but I'm like, oh, I'm not in the mood to. By then, my daughter was almost finishing SS and had to also go to the university.
And how were you?
So yes, and the small one was also at JHS.
Yeah.
So how am I going to? And then I'll be in Osupresec. I put them all at OPPS, Osu OPPS.
Yeah.
I'll be in school, then they'll come. We've been asked to go home because our fees, you are writing exams, you have to pay our fees. So before my salary gets into the account, it is spent. And so that was how come I had to start selling, and that's how come I become an entrepreneur, and then eventually stop teaching to focus on that. Yes, on that. It's a long story. But I'm always in Makola. That has been this is my coach.
Your Makola coach. Wow.
Always on the move. So I haven't had time to bring them up the way I wanted to. I don't really spend time. Exactly. I don't really spend time with them. But thank God my children are not those kind of children. I think they understand my pain.
The situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and they know the stories around their bed.
Yes. They didn't know. Initially, they were expecting more. They were expecting more. I remember when my daughter finished SS and had to go to the university. And then I wept because we bought tech and then Legon. So tech picked her, but it was going to be fee paying. And at that time,
you couldn't.
I even went into Shito. She helped me prepare Shito. At that time, I can't even pay for even the normal fees. I was struggling to get the normal fees. Then you are talking about fee paying.
Oh.
So when I said I couldn't,
she didn't understand.
A statement, yes. She passed a statement that brought me so down. And, yes. So eventually she stayed home for 1 year.
Wow.
So my mother came in and finally she was convinced to go to where you has the whole.
Yeah.
So that was where she did midwifery.
Okay.
She's now at UGMC as a midwife and Makola as a law student.
Oh wow! Wow.
So through it all,
see how beautiful the story is ending. And the boy?
Through it all. The boy also completed Kofodia Tech. For him, when I sent him to school, I wanted him to read I actually registered him for electrical engineering because at home he's the one he spoils everything electrical. The radio is here, you open to see what is inside. Your phone, you pick it and all that. So I said, okay, once you are there, let's go do electrical engineering. Because I was a teacher too, I had mates who were teaching over there. Yeah. But the reports I get is all the time he's in the ICT lab.
Okay,
so after that, I enrolled him at Kofi Annan.
Okay.
So he's also now an IT guru.
On his own.
Yes.
This is when
I never let them out. Edem, it was pure sacrifice, resilience and sacrifice.
You didn't have it all, but you did the best you could for them.
Yes.
You didn't abandon them. You sacrificed yourself for them.
Exactly.
And today, midwife Makola, and then ICT guru. And this is just almost show. When they look at you.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I can say for now.
Oh.
Me branya kwa.
David Davi. And usually God will not let his own down. I am happy to hear this. And I mean, is that the reason you why did you decide that? Well, how am I even asking this question? I wanted to find out you've had bad experiences.
Very bad.
Is it one of the reasons you decided that you're not going to settle, get married?
It's a factor.
It's a factor.
It's a factor. But I've not stopped trying.
Yeah.
Just that when you want to come and stress my life,
You
just
go.
go. Yeah.
You've had enough stress.
I've had enough stress.
Miriam, I thought you were going to give her a high five.
I mean, you know that.
This woman.
Soft life.
Please, have we fixed out? Miriam, I'm happy this is how the story is ending. And I think you've also taken very good care of yourself through the hardship and the troubles and everything, because you look amazing.
Thank you. I think it's by the grace of
Oh,
God.
you look amazing. You look amazing. And I feel like you are now in your place of rest and comfort.
Oh yes. Oh,
And
yes.
it's nice.
So the Bobo I was dancing when we went there.
Ay, ay, ay.
It was my freedom.
You want
dance.
something for it, right?
Yes, everything.
remember. Can we hear Antina now? Hello, Antina. Oh, what's happening? Okay, I think it's the network. It's the network. So can you ask her? I mean, tell her to get Abba to check it for her. It's the network, because when she
You
speaks,
told to say something.
Okay. Otherwise, Kojo, please let's raise her on phone if we're
You're
struggling.
Antina, are you Antina? Relax.
So we'll raise Antina on phone if we're struggling with the network. Okay. Let me come to you whilst we fix Antina. Let me come to you, Edem Atifo Miahima. Edem, how are you?
I'm fine,
Edem
thank
is
you.
always very excited when she has to share her story, especially so if it is for the purposes of encouraging, other young people. She is the first female ever mashallah, aircraft mashallah in GH.
Yeah.
Just big woman like that.
You see that?
I remember when Kwesi saw the story, Kwesi was like, Edem, I must say Edem, right? Edem, have you people spoken to this lady? Get her into the studio and let her share her story. So the very first time we spoke, it was Kwesi Chum who made us have that conversation, and it was so much to learn. Good to have you again.
Yes, good to have you too.
Edem,
Yes.
single motherhood hasn't been an easy journey with you too, has it?
No, it hasn't, and I'm still in it.
Wow.
I'm still in it. She said 6 months. 8 months, I didn't know I was pregnant.
Hey, I didn't have some crazy.
As for me, I was having the menstrual flow.
Okay.
And then
okay, monthly.
Yeah, monthly, yeah. And I would say that for me,
Wow.
I have tested the stages of life. I have been teenage pregnancy. Okay, I was pregnant 2021. I've been a single mother. I've been a married woman. I've been a divorcee.
Oh dear.
And I'm still there. But I always say that it's just the choices. Every stage of my life, the choices I made. And so far I've not regretted, because whatever choice I make, I stand by it, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
And I
Whatever
go
the
with it.
outcomes
Whatever
are.
the outcome comes, I don't blame anybody for it. I just take it in good faith and I move on. So, secondary school, no, it was social advance, and naughty boy, girl here and there. I don't know, I was pregnant. I didn't know until, because I was having my menstrual flow. My dad had died. I was bathing with my mom, the same bathroom, the same time. When I'm in my menses, she sees it.
Okay.
So nobody would tell me that, or to tell her that I'm pregnant. No, I didn't know until when my grandmom came to visit and she saw me and said, like, hey, Edem, you are pregnant. And my mother was so angry that, look, I know when she had her menstrual flow. And there was a quarrel between my mother and my grandmother.
Wow.
Because my mother got furious. And you know the funny thing, my mother thought I was a virgin.
Hey.
Someone is far. From 19 me.
You've been active.
Very.
Yeah, 70.
So, back and forth, back and forth. By the time we had to go and do the test, and you know those times when you do the test, it's your urine,
Yes.
then come back in 3 days' time.
Yes.
Yes, I think I wrote a whole story on it on Facebook. So
Mm.
I think listeners could go to my page and go and read it. I've just got to tell. I was pregnant. I tried aborting it.
Wow.
Oh yes, going do all sorts of things. That's where you go to your shawaga friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some say take Guinness and gin.
Yeah.
Some say,
Mix it together.
Yeah, mix it together.
Yeah.
I did. This pregnancy didn't come. Some say go and have a chloroquine injection. You know,
Hey.
abort it. I did. This pregnancy didn't come. Some say, I remember a friend of mine said, well, she hits the stomach with on a wardrobe, you know, the drawer.
Hey.
Yeah, you know. So I was hitting it. At a point, I saw a little blood.
So crazy.
This pregnancy, all I needed was to abort the pregnancy.
Wow.
Then somebody said, look, there's a hospital somewhere. Even 6 months, they can abort it for you. Okay. And it was those days 50 cedis or 5,000 cedis. And one Sunday, my mother didn't go to church, so she gave me her tithes, praise be, to go and pay for her with the tithes.
Edem, you have been a bad girl.
Oh, not bad.
Oh, mommy, tight, no.
Oh. I took the tithe and then just wrote something in the book. You know, you write and then sign, you know. And I went to put the tithe, and I went, one dawn I went to the place, and there was a queue at them
Of young girls.
of young girls going to abort. Wow. It got to my turn. I was number 25. I will never forget. I went to lie down, and the doctor, those days, they didn't have scan. You had that metal.
Yeah.
So I checked my, hey. I was like, please, how old is the pregnancy? She said, no, I can't abort this baby. Oh. So she sat me down, asked me a few questions. I was like, you know, I don't know. I said, I just wanted this pregnancy out. And this profound thing that the doctor said, and it has kept me up till now. She said, my dear, go face the consequence with this pregnancy. I bet you will never regret it. You are young. But if you are able to give birth to this baby, you will never regret it. Edem, this man didn't collect my money. I took the money, went to Papa Yewosu.
To go and buy food.
Chop my mouth well. Papa Ye and Fanta. From there, I went to Tema Station. I bought all sorts of things. Jewelry, and I'm them coffee. Now I have to be faced with, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, I came from a home where my parents were very strict. Everybody wished they were like me. People used me as an example.
In a good way, on a bad
In a
way.
good way. I go to church. I was a church organist, a female little church organist. Everybody wants their daughter to be like me. I was in the choir. I was,
You were all over the
I
place.
was all over the place. You know, my parents were very strict. In the morning, you come home, we are doing morning devotion. In the evening, we are doing evening devotion before you sleep. And you're that sort of home. So for my mom, she was so disappointed.
I can imagine.
How is he going to face the world? Everybody was thinking about himself. So that's why I wanted to abort the pregnancy. But it didn't happen. Now I have to tell my mother I'm pregnant. Edem.
Oh, all this while she didn't know?
She didn't know.
When you went for the test, you took the...
No.
Oh, my world.
She didn't know. And there was nothing showing, just like this. I can put on dress.
Wow.
You know, even though as a woman you feel your tummy is very big. I didn't feel it very hard. Just that I had a little, you know,
bulge at the sides.
At the sides. And effort. And I have a very smooth face. But one pimple here, there, when I'm ovulating, I get. So
it was okay
It
for
was
you.
okay. I was
Wow.
pregnant. And then that night, I told my mom, My mother wept, God, I have disappointed you, all sorts of things.
Oh.
My dad had died, and she was still going through.
She was mourning.
She was mourning. My siblings were in school, and I was the one in Accra at the secretarial school, and then I'm pregnant. Hey, so she said
And
she
she'll
couldn't
think about all the training and upbringing she had given
exactly.
you.
Where
and
did she go wrong?
Yeah.
My mother was not my friend. I mean, you dare not go and tell your mother that
you have feelings.
you have feelings, you have a boyfriend. The very first time I had my menses, I was planning for friends. I said, has it come? I said, yes. She said, when you go and sleep with them, you get pregnant and you go to hell. Hey? She said all sorts of
Yeah.
things. So, I
that
mean,
was it.
that was it. So, when my mom, at a point, she said she can't handle it. So, I should go to my grandma in Medina. I went to my grandmother's place in Medina. So, the first time we went for antenatal. And they're like, oh, looks like that. And nobody was able to tell me how old the pregnancy was. So, when you ask me, I can calculate. Is it 3 months, 4 months? Because I did not. Topping also. So,
You're right.
so you don't even know where you got it,
Oh, so you were not even sure how
old the pregnancy was. I wasn't
Yay.
even sure.
And who it was for.
Oh, who it was for? I knew.
You knew.
I knew.
Okay.
So when I went to the antenatal the first time, they said, oh, I should come the second time, the following week, to come and see the doctor. The following week, I delivered.
Wow.
A
Baby
girl.
was healthy.
Very healthy.
Full term.
Full term.
Okay.
Bubbling. Baby, like nice, cute baby girl. Everything was. At a point, I thought, what I've been drinking, what I've been doing, this baby might, come.
Maybe deformed or something.
Just
It
go.
was a whole baby.
A whole baby. But I
You
bled.
after.
Yes, after, because when I started having the contraction, or when I saw it was pregnant, like it was like I menstruated. So I thought, oh, it was one of those. Not only I was in labor.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how has it been? How was it like taking care of the child?
oh,
And everything?
everything was. I would say when I went to my grandmother's place, I have my cousins, my aunties.
So they
Everybody was excited with a little, you're so cute. So, Obia person man is so it wasn't that difficult. But taking care of the child was so difficult because my grandmom didn't have, my aunties were struggling with their children.
And
My
your
mother
mom was upset with you.
my mom was
Or she had come to
depressed.
terms
Oh,
with it.
she had come. She was helping,
Okay.
but she was also having her own challenges. She was depressed. She has to take up with my siblings, so it was tough. I remember at a point, I was telling my story that look, tea bag. When I buy tea bag, I use it for 2 weeks.
Wow.
You put it in a fun too, baby. I mean, dip it small, then you get whatever, and then you go and dry it on the wall. It was my grandma who taught me that.
Hey.
So every time you want to drink tea, you put it
So
again,
was ready.
Charlie, and then you dip it inside, and it was just cool for me. For me, na hammy baby.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I feel the shame now. Now you have to buy another one.
What you have to what to ago. You put Gary in the bowl, and then I let my daughter beat in the Gary, and then we couldn't go out too much because not only in Tadia.
Oh.
So around that time when my mates were jamming after school and all that, I couldn't go out because I had a baby.
And where was the guy? Because you knew who.
The guy was a student. As for guy named person some crowd
Okay,
because
yeah.
he we are two naive people, and I didn't have any problem with him. Okay. Once a while he came around, and we all had the best for the child, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But so I had to struggle because Obetu, what I liked about him, and I would say Obetu Akolanidin.
Okay.
So he has a child's name. That I was so grateful. At least people won't say
The child
that
has an identity.
exactly. So that I was so grateful. But the others, because he was also a student, so the others were like, I needed to help myself.
So how were you doing it? Were you Did you have to? You had
I
to
was
work?
working. Yes, I was doing my attachment at National Theatre.
Okay.
It wasn't salary
yeah.
until they made me permanent.
Okay.
And then not long, I think I was permanent for about 3-4 months. I was fired.
Oh.
So I came back to square one, and surprisingly, I was going with the flow. About 1 year, and things were tough.
So you never went back to your mom?
I went back to my mom at a certain time because
Okay.
now the confusion even at my grandmom's place. So I went back to my mom's place. At a time, I had to move again back to my grandmother's place because nobody
Let me
seemed
ask
to.
you. At that, when you were going through all of those things, what lessons did you pick up?
So many lessons, so many lessons, were that, hey, I have the kind of life I wanted to live and the kind of life especially my late father wanted me to live. I cut it short
Because of your own.
because of my own. That's why I'm saying
Decisions.
decisions,
Okay.
choices.
I get it.
I cut it short. But at a point, I wanted to prove myself wrong that, look, the fact that I have cut certain short doesn't mean that I can't make it in life. I can. So let me start. And starting, like, you won't sit down, you learn your. So it's like you try to move and you are being stopped because you have a child. The stigma alone, you go out somewhere and you want to talk to people, oh, wow, wow, sorry, wow, so it's like
Yeah.
the society was, now it's okay, you have people to help around, but the society was so hostile on me. But all the same, me, I didn't give up. My win today, I'll go in, and when I see you, I tell you, hey, me about, and people are like, oh, you're too smart to have a child. So fortunately, I started working again in civil aviation. I went for an interview, and they're like, they saw my friends, hey, oh, Oba. And I said, yes, but I'm sorry, it was a mistake. Quickly, they said, no, it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake at all. That was when I realized that, oh, I can be proud
As a mother.
as a mother. And that is how it be. But I went through it. Now, when I remember those times I went through, I didn't feel that pain. Or that's because at a point we were selling honey, and I named the honey Mina honey because my daughter was
Mina.
Wilhelmina.
Okay.
So I made it Mina honey, and then I was going around selling it.
You had to survive.
Charlie.
But I know at some point that your relationship with your daughter was a bit strained.
Yeah.
What happened? Because I'm playing it back and looking at all the hardship you had to go through to take care of her, bring her up and all that. What happened? And because I'm not expecting, now I'm thinking through it, why did you have a strained relationship?
You see, at a point in life, when things went all that had to be, and I had to marry, that was another mistake I did. I was thinking that let me concentrate on my marriage with my husband. So I gave my child out to my grandmom at a point to the father. That is where all those things started. You see, she doesn't like you, that's why she's taking you to the father. She doesn't like you, that's why this. She does. So
people were telling her things.
a lot of things. She was also picking up a lot of things. I was also trying to concentrate on my marriage. And then boom, by the time I realized things were bad. So bad.
Wow.
So when I had my son, Edem, and the marriage didn't go well, I traveled to the US and then went for a conference. And I think I did a presentation. And then there was this company there, very big company, Boeing. They were like, we want to employ you. There and there. I said, no. And I asked the one question. How would I bring my children? He said, oh, after a year or two. I said, no, I'm not taking it. This time, I'm not leaving my children to anybody. I'll prefer to come to Ghana and then work and then take care of my children. The group I went with, everybody was surprised. I said,
You'd made mistakes with
I made
them.
mistakes. I will never leave my daughter with, or my child or my son with anybody. Say me no me guy we no berry. I declined that. When I came back and I told my children, oh, you didn't do well. Oh, why? By this time, I said, no. I know why I did that.
Yeah.
I know why I did that. And there were some mistakes I did. I'm still
Paying for them.
Paying for them, especially when it comes to my kids. So my son is my handbag. And I try as much as possible.
But you had your son when you were married.
Yeah, I was married. To
Okay.
tell them, no, don't hide anything anymore. Don't think you are the superwoman. Of course, don't make them, because you are a single parent, let them suffer. No. Whatever my son or my daughter or whoever wants from me, if I don't get it, I say God will provide. And the following day, I'll get it for you. So, oh, my mom hasn't got it, so I'm selling. No, I'll let you sell. That should be my
Your
issue. My
responsibility.
responsibility. That she said. My responsibility to do the selling, to help you. When you go and want to sell, fine. When you want to do something for yourself, fine. But not because I don't have.
Yeah.
Not because I don't have.
So they don't go make the same
Mistakes.
wrong decisions
Exactly.
you made.
I made. Exactly. So, because when my father died, my mother, I would say with the kids, we didn't suffer.
Okay.
But what I saw my mother doing was that she was actually doing all sorts of things. And until my mother died, I didn't see my mother buying new panties.
Wow.
Yes. I didn't see my mother trying to wear those wigs the friends are wearing. She actually sacrificed. She was wearing a goat's livestock to take care of us. So when my dad died, we were never sacked from school fees.
So where are the children now?
They are around. The first one is doing so well. That's my
The
daughter,
girl.
the girl. She's working. She's now a manager in one of these big companies.
Wow.
And the boy is in the university going to the 3rd year.
Wow.
Yes. So
It always ends in praise.
it
doesn't
always ends in praise. It always ends in praise.
And I mean, what I find very interesting about your story, and I like it that Mia Hima doesn't hide anything. She tells you where she thought she was naughty.
Yes.
And I am sure with the benefit of hindsight, you'd be saying that, look, if I listened, if I didn't think I was on top, if I wasn't this naughty, if I wasn't jumping around, life would probably be better than it is.
Yes.
But even then, you made the most out of it.
Yes.
And I mean, because we are talking about motherhood, the focus is on, at the end of the day, how have the children come out through it all?
Yeah.
Do they know their story? Do they appreciate where you have come from? Where they even, you know, our children now, they are children. And they are thinking, and they can tell you that, Mommy, you made a mistake here.
Yeah.
If I find myself in this situation, I wouldn't have done it this way, that way, that way. Hey, I'm rough.
Hey, yo.
Because at the time when I was going through that, where were you?
And Adam, I always tell my children that there's only a fool who doesn't learn the mistakes of the forefathers.
Yeah.
For me, I'll tell you as it is and how I did it. If today at 21 you go get a woman pregnant, then you are a fool. It's not my ancestors. It's not any, because I have told you what I did and it wasn't
what you
good.
went through.
What I went through. So if you want to go through that same way, fine. Now your palaver. Don't make the mistake I made. Go and make your own mistakes, because I've told you what I did and the mistakes I made. So you should be able to also learn from it and then use the AI to direct you and then go and do your own mistakes.
I am just grateful to God that at the end of the day, all your struggles, Miriam has shared her story, your struggles, your sacrifices, the pains you have to deal with as mothers alone. I mean, regardless of the fact that there were choices you both made, the children are fine today. And prayerfully, they will be better. Because me, that's the charge. You have to be better. I made mistakes, but I did the best I could at the time. If you make the same mistakes today, you will face it. You know, especially so when you are open parents and you're not hiding it from them and you're telling them what it is. I'm just happy that it all turned out well. And I mean, we should have that sitting together with them and find out how they're feeling. I think it will be a very beautiful, sitting. Can Antina talk now?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. We can hear you now.
I'm so sorry for the initial network glitches.
Antina, you are glowing, oh.
Thank you.
Wow.
After 1 hour of sleep.
Abba did all of this morning, huh?
No, I did it myself as a dream. Oh boy.
Oh, wow. You look good. Okay,
Thank
so,
you.
I mean,
Thank you.
Antina would like to hear your story too. With your two,
Oh,
Antina has 2 children, Abba and Taylor. I have met them.
a dream, yeah.
And they are amazing kids because I have met them.
Yeah.
Abba says that she came into this world and her assignment is to torment her mother, and so she's always tormenting her.
She's doing a good job of it.
And she says she's doing a good job of that. She says my responsibility in this world is to torment her, so I'm always tormenting her. And and then Ag, oh, I mean that very fine gentleman. Thank you for raising them the way you have raised them. But share the story with us. How did you come into single motherhood?
Okay, my story is a little different from Miriam and
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot that her name was slipped my mind.
Edem.
I had my kids in marriage, but then I listened to their story and looking at mine. You can see that you can be a single mother in any situation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got married before I had my kids, but then I was virtually alone throughout. Antenatal, I go alone. I had my kids. I brought them home. I had to look after them alone. Like,
Wow.
my mother wasn't around to help, so what they taught me in the hospital was what I came home and did. And by the time I had them, I was working in the corporate world. I was working with UAC.
But let me go back a bit. Why were you doing it all alone when you were married?
Because he wouldn't go with me. He wouldn't.
Wow.
He wouldn't go with me. So I mean, all my antenatal appointments, I went alone. And the delivery, when he came to the hospital, but I come home and I handle the baby alone. I do in that time, we're not using the diapers, it was the nappies you had to wash. Yeah. So in the morning, you do all your washing and stuff, breastfeed your baby, and do other house chores and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, I didn't find it abnormal at the time.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I thought it was okay. And then in the company I worked with, maternity leave was strictly 6 weeks before confinement, and then 6 weeks after you've given birth. So when you give birth, you write to them, and then they calculate and tell you when to resume work. So I resumed work. My first child, that was Adri. When I resumed, that very day I reported for work, I was told that I should report in Kumasi. I should go to Kumasi. I hadn't been to Kumasi before at the time. And I had this little baby. He was born preterm also. I tried to argue it out. They told me, is either housewife or career, choose. Which one do you want to do?
Wow.
And I said, okay. Yeah, those days it was really tough. Those days it was black and white. I mean, that was it. So then he decided, okay, I want to build a career. So off I went. Luckily for me, during my maternity leave, a lady I worked with in my first station, that was Kingsway Stores, got me an adult housekeeper.
Okay.
So when she came to stay with me, I told her, now, this is the thing, I have to leave Accra. I'm going to come. I said she would go with me. That was a blessing. So she went with me. I didn't drive because I didn't know where I was going. So we took STC. And I was telling myself that if I get to Kumasi, I don't know where to go. My younger sister is in tech. We'll just go and stay with her so I can sort things out. You know, so well, we set off. But before I left, one of my colleague manager, junior manager, told me he was worried. A few managers were worried about my situation. Those days in UAC, we had very, very few women in the company. So he told me we had a mother in Kumasi. He would call her and tell her a friend of his was coming to town. She had nowhere to stay. So can she help? So he gave me directions on paper to their house at Aja. So when we said I should get down at Tech Junction, so STC, me, my little baby, and the helper. We got our tech junction. We sat in the taxi. I told the taxi driver I didn't know where I was going, but these are the directions I was going. So I gave him the paper. He looked at it, and he took me to Auntie Elizabeth's house. The lady received us so warmly. She's passed on now. I always remember her very fondly, Elizabeth Asafweji. She was so nice to us. She gave us a room. I'll come from where she would have cooked. When I want to contribute, she wouldn't let me contribute.
Wow.
Oh, it was wonderful. So I had my lady with me, so she was taking care of the baby. And then we're in Kumasi for about 6 months, and then we had to go back. I was transferred from there to Takoradi. So again, I went with my little baby. This time I drove down to Takoradi, and there was accommodation above the office, so that's where we lived.
Okay.
And before, when I was pregnant, I was going to have a baby. I normally buy my cars for purpose. So the first car I bought was a 2-door car because I said if my kids are at the back, they have to be safe. There are no doors to open. So this time we drove to Takoradi, and I got there, and in fact, I've had helpers along the way. I had this lady with me, but then along the way, she had to leave me. I was alone with this baby.
But the story is such that you were very married, but you were very single.
That's what I was saying, that it's a different story. The dynamics are so different.
Wow.
But I was so single. So,
wow.
So I was in Takoradi, and then I had I got this customer, one of my customers. I don't know why she liked me so much. She was so kind, a young lady, called Evelyn. So when I had to work and also want to take care of Edri, she will come and pick this little boy and take him to the market. And if you know Takoradi market, the market circle, she had a store inside. And I mean, a typical marketplace is not a very neat place. So
No.
I mean, it was painful. It was difficult, but I had to let them help me take care of my kids. So that was how it went. Then I got pregnant with Abba. That one too was still alone. I was posted back to Kumasi. So with her pregnancy, I was doing my antenatal in Kumasi. Dr. Ofosubaku, he was a very nice doctor. He's also passed on. So he was taking care of me, and my sister was in the medical school. And he said he was a lecturer. He would tell her that.
Antina, you know what's going through my mind as you're speaking. So you had, like, your little boy went through all of these by yourself, getting people to help you from Accra to Kumasi to Takoradi and everything. So
all over the place.
Your husband was in Accra.
Sorry?
Your husband was in Accra.
Yeah.
And you came back to Accra to get
he would visit us. He would visit sometimes, but when he visits, he's always with. He goes out to see his friends. You don't see him till Sunday when he has to leave for Accra. So virtually.
Oh dear Lord.
So I was that's what I said, that my story is a little different. I was a single mother in a marriage.
Wow.
So with Abba, it was the same thing. The doctor would tell my sister that, hey, your staff manager, when she's coming to the hospital, she has a paper. She's listed all her issues. So when she comes, I have to be very alert because she will tell me. I'm always asking questions. I like to understand things. I always ask questions. So with Abba, it was pretty much a same story. When it was time to take my maternity leave, we had to drive all the way to Accra. I got a friend to drive me this time because her pregnancy wasn't too comfortable. So I had her, and it's the same story. I had to bathe her, take care of her, do everything alone, and then resume again 6 weeks after giving birth. And then I resumed, and again they sent me back to Kumasi. And so what happens is that one man, again, I got customers to help, so they'll come and pick my baby. And she was a very chubby baby. Yeah, they'll come and pick her, take her to the market and be showing her off. And they'll be showing off with. So somehow we got along. I had the second term at Takoradi.
But was their father supporting financially?
No, that one too is another thing. When we got married, he was saying that my salary was more than his, so I should take care of the kids and the home, so that when he's stable, he was studying to become a chartered accountant. When he's stable, he becomes a chartered accountant, he will take over. Wow. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way. And one thing I agree with the others is the naivety,
Yeah.
They talk and you just believe it, and you trust, and you do all you can to help to support the home. So I remember with a G, for example, every station I went to, I put him in a nursery school. So he went to about 5 different nursery schools before he finally ended up in Accra. And I didn't know in Accra at that time, because I'd been in the regions all the time. I didn't know that the system in Accra had changed so much. So we were coming to Accra expecting that he would go to class 1. I told my husband at the time that we are coming back to Accra now. So can you please find a school in Accra for him? So when we arrive, he can just go straight into school. We arrived in Accra and he hadn't done anything. So I had to ask permission of where to go around looking for a school for my boy. And the sad thing was, apparently, in Accra, he should have had his interview a year before. But we didn't, in the regions, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
So anywhere I went, they told me I'm late. I should have come last year. I should have had this interview last year. And I explained I wasn't working in Accra. I didn't know that was the system in Accra. When they helped me, I went to Christ the King and actually went before the headmistress that I beg her. I didn't know, and I need to put my boy in a good set. There was nothing she can do to help me. So I told her that my boy had been very excited about coming for the interview. So I think they should just interview him and I'll take him home. So they interviewed him, and the teacher who did came to tell me that he did so well. I should still try to convince the headmistress to take him. Oh, she wouldn't take him. It was terrible.
Oh, dear.
So we had a stand at the trade fair, near one of the periods, and I was in charge of our company stand. So I was there one day, and a lady came there. She saw me and just called my name Martha. Then she came and gave me a very big hug, and I couldn't make her out. She said, "Don't you recognize me? It's me, Nanabna Srebo." I said, "Oh my God." So we, with the usual things we do, we chatted, we talked, we caught up. So she asked where I was. I said, "Oh, I just came back to Accra, and I have a problem. I'm looking for a school for my son." She said they needed someone to come and give a talk about textiles in the school, in a Morning Star school. So can I help? So I can help. I can help them, but then I also need some help from her because I need to put my boy in school. And everywhere I go, they tell me they are late by 1 year, and there's nothing I can do about it. So that is how my son was able to get into Morning Star. She helped us. He got into Morning Star. So with Abba, we were able to do it according to the schedule.
Okay, so it wasn't difficult.
Yeah. So by that time, the marriage crumbled around that time when Idri was in about class 1, class 2.
Wow.
I mean, the man, he just walked out on us. He just left. I came back from work one day. He wasn't there. He was gone. So we sorted this out with his parents, and that was it. So because it's been a struggle. So throughout, I've had different people coming in to help at different times.
Yeah.
Everywhere I worked, I took them. Anytime I was going on trek, I would take them with me. I remember when I was working in Kofredra, I'll be in the office and I would have laid a mat behind my chair, behind my desk, and a Jew will be sleeping there whilst I'll be working. If I don't have anyone to take around, I have to go on market rounds. I'd even in a customer's shop, do all my rounds, see my customers, and come and pick him up, bring him back to the office.
Wow.
My staff will be carrying the host keeper carries in the labor. Everybody will be handling my kids, helping me through it all. It was that's why a lot of people tend to know my kids. They're always asking after them because I know I have hyperactive kids too, so people don't forget them when they meet them. So it was quite.
But how did you come to accept all that you were going through?
For some strange reason, I think I didn't find it too odd.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because my job was a very demanding job. Yeah, so I was really, really busy all the time. But then I realized that having when my first housekeeper left me, another customer gave me an adult housekeeper to assist. So it's kind of, because they've been mothers before, it kind of helped. I could leave my kids with them and not worry about much. It's later in life that I realized that I should have looked more into how they were being brought up, because when I'm around, everything seems to be okay. But it's later after they've grown up that they'll tell me that, oh, this lady did this to me or said this and did that. Then it hurts a little. But those are one of my regrets, that I was so busy, I didn't have a personal eye on my kids. I always had people helping, so it was tough. Along the way, we became alone and we got closer. Anywhere I go, I try to take them with me. And the relationship we have right now is, you think we are siblings. So that's why I'm about to say she's my personal tormentor, my personal terrorist. It hasn't been easy. My siblings helped quite a bit. My mother also tried in her own way. I didn't grow up with her. My parents were separated when I was very young, and my father brought us up. So I didn't know my mother very well. I wasn't close to her, but she tried to come in from time to time to help. But I was the one who would sometimes hold her at bay a little bit because I think by nature I'm a very independent person. Yeah, and I have my way of getting things done when I want the way I want them done. So I think that has also kind of helped shape them. And as they grew up, one of the things I was doing was I encouraged their friends to be coming to our house. So my kids were not going out much, but their friends were mostly around a lot. Yeah, so holidays, they come and at my house. It's a small house, but it's full with their friends and their parents. Got to know me as their mother in Osu. So they all know that you're going to your mother in Osu, and that was it. So they know their kids are with me. Our house is always overflowing, and like I told you, I'm one of them calls me the collector of other people's children. I'm always grouping people in.
Wow.
So my biological kids are two, but I have so many children all over the place, and I'm still gathering them. Even Joy FM, I know it's quite a few. I meet people, and somehow I just draw them in, and they become part of my family. But it's like throughout I don't know whether to call it my married life or my words, but I've been alone. I've been an independent single mother, and somehow it has worked out. In between, there have been the tough times when maybe money was tight and things like that, and even with the job I was doing. And one of the things I used to do was I don't pay two major bills in a single month. So I kind of juggle them. If this month I pay the big one, like I pay electricity. I'll pay electricity bill like alternate months. WhatsApp, those we used to pay for the telephone as well. And I always operated a strict budget. I list the things, I apportion figures to them, and I try to stick by it. When things are tough and I need extra money, my elder brother was working at Barclays Bank. I'll give him a post-dated check, and he advanced me some cash. So when it's due, he just takes the money. But the borrowing was it. So and then, with the company I worked with, I ended up in the textiles division. So you kind of build a pile of cloth because that's what we're producing.
Yeah.
You don't sew it all. You don't sew all that you pick. So when I'm really, really hard up, I think Nigeria remembers those days. I put some of them in a basket. I just go to the market, call one of my customers and said, I need some money. So take this cloth and then give me some money. And then, so we kind of managed. And I didn't bring them up to be materialistic, if I may put it that way. So, something like Christmas time, kids will be expecting that they want new shoes, new clothes. My house, I think they didn't exist. What we have is what we use. So they're used to it. I'll tell them that today I have some money. Let's go and blow it before I spend it on something else or I regret. I forget. We'll go and sit somewhere, have fun, and then it was that money. I should have used it for this and that. But I thought I should give them a good time once in a while.
Necessary.
Yeah, because they could manage on the same clothes for a long time before we put in something new, their shoes and things like that. It wasn't always easy. It wasn't easy. But it worked out. And like you said, they turned out so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they turned out so well. And they appreciate, they know and appreciate all that I've been through on their behalf. Their father tries to get them back to come and visit, and they just want to stick with me. They're not going. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been because there are certain things that if you had someone sharing the cost with, you would have been able to achieve certain other things.
Even the burden, not just cost in terms of cash.
But so it's like everything you had had to go into the kids, the education, Abba schooled in Cape Coast, for example, and then she did her university in Kumasi. And I was always on the road. I was always on the road. Then I'm going, I packed their kids, the car will be full, some in the boots. We're going to Wesley Girls to visit her. And when I'm going, I go with enough food and drinks and an ice tea. Because her classmates and things come around, and everybody who comes to my car, we dish something out for you to go and eat. So it was always like we're going on some some fun trip. And you're driving long distance, I'm driving, I'm sleep driving, and I mean, God has been good. God has been
Thank
good
God.
because
And
when I look back, lots of accidents could have happened, but
indeed,
he saw me
kept
through
you.
safely.
Yeah.
Accra,
Where are they now?
Accra and the motorway,
A lot of
obviously
it.
driving on the motorway, and I still
Oh,
make it safely back home or
we-
to work, and it's been difficult. I've tried to abridge it as much as because
yeah.
there's so much
We thank God
info
for
in
your
there to
lives,
share.
really. And so, what are
Yeah,
they? What are they into now? I know they're big now.
yeah, they're both working. They're both
Great,
working.
great,
Yeah.
great. And that
AJ is with the civil service, and Abba is a freelancer.
great, and that eases
Yeah,
the
we're
pressure
doing
now.
we're doing great.
They have
Yeah.
time to pamper you, and I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about in terms of reminiscing the stories and all that. It's
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes one day he was saying that he remembers how he used to. His shoe was faulty, he had to keep mending his shoe. I said, "Oh my God,
oh,
I should have gotten a new pair or something." But sometimes when you're doing everything, there's other things that your mind doesn't
it's
go to
okay.
sometimes.
I
It's later
mean,
that you realize it.
at some point in time in life, there are certain things that are more important than others. You see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
there are certain things that become more important than others. But today,
But
like I said,
they're such lovely children.
they are.
And they're so, I realize that they're so appreciative. I mean, you think they don't see, they don't know, but they do.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
once in a
yes,
while, they say certain things that make me realize that they knew, but they were just quiet.
they pushed you
Then
to
I
share
have to
your
arrange
story.
someone to pick them and bring them to me in Tema when they close from school. Because there'll be nobody at home. And then when I close from work late, then we all go home. It hasn't been easy for them. They've also been very strong, and they've been good kids. I mean, they've had their escapades, but then it's all part of the excitement and the adventure. So,
Really. And I mean,
yeah,
like I said earlier, it's all turned out in praise.
Yeah.
yes, it has.
I,
It
I,
has.
I didn't know your stories really. Edem and I had a few conversations, but I was still surprised at some of the things she was sharing today. So
Okay.
it all ended up in praise. And I would want to say, like, congratulations to you, mothers. You've done so well. Um the best part of this conversation for me has been um it hasn't been that kind of conversation where you see women sitting down and bashing men, and the men have done this and the men have done that. At the end of the day, the responsibility faced you whichever way. In Antina's case, it was, I mean, she was married but still single. Whatever the details are, she accepted it and did the best she could for her children.
Yeah.
And through the struggles and everything, like she's saying, I mean, there could have been lots of accidents, but God also knew that you were the only one there for the children. So she kept you, protected you, and today they are working, they are pampering you, they are taking care of you. They're also making a lot of sacrifices for you. And I'm sure it's the same in your cases
Yeah.
as well. I'm sure they will have to leave certain things they're doing, abandon certain things they're doing, just to attend to your calls as well. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it all. And I would like to say, Mwaya Adepa, are you cool?
Yeah.
I will come back, and in just 1 minute each or two, we'll talk about, so when young people who are now coming up find themselves in some of these situations, what advice can you give them? Those who want to go and throw the babies away, those who want to leave them and just run away, those who are cursing the children every
Oh.
day for the pains they are going through. You have been through it too. What would you tell them to, I mean, was it last year or so that a mother was found? I think she poisoned herself and her children, because she couldn't do life like that anymore. What words of encouragement you have for them? I have lots of messages, but I will be right back to check out some of those messages. You know. Now, the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods. And I am talking about the Vitamilk soy milk drink. It is rich in protein, calcium, and it has omega 3, 6, and 9. And all the vitamins recommended for your daily living. It has no colorings, no flavorings, and no preservatives. And so why don't you choose Vitamilk Champ for your children? Because the protein, calcium, omega 3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and stronger every day. Vitamilk also comes in its regular soy milk drink. It comes in the energy booster with no caffeine, the choco, the banana, the strawberry, and it's packaged in 250 mils and 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. And yeah, this August, Adanse Travels is turning up the excitement as part of its 12 years of delivering unforgettable travel experience. Adanse Travels, I think you should be planning to give some of these mothers this experience. So I am advocating. Get ready to see more, feel more, and explore some of the world's most exciting destinations, from fun-filled family adventures to Dubai to romantic getaways in Asia, thrilling escapes with friends in South Africa, or that long-awaited dream trip across Europe. It's not just travel, it's an experience you will never forget. Call Adanse Travels on 0595500817 or 0531008550, or you visit adansetravels.com to book your spot. Let's make memories together this August. Adanse at 12. See more, feel more. And this Father's Day, just around the corner, it's time to start thinking about ways to celebrate the dads and father figures in our lives. So your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime, and Hits FM proudly presents My Father, My Hero, Fatherhood, a Deeper Connection. This year, we invite you to step away from the daily grind and celebrate your fathers and all the father figures in your life. And here's what you have to do. In just 30 seconds, record a clip commending your dad. Tell us the heroic things he has done for you and share those with us via our WhatsApp number 055 11 11 997. Your clips will be played on air and the top 5 entries will be selected. And your fathers will be given amazing rewards. Tune in to Drive Time 3 to 5 p.m. as we embark on this daddy celebration journey. Stay glued to your radio. Don't miss out on this fun, entertaining, yet emotionally impactful mini virtual and auditory adventure. This is Home Affairs. Let me get to some of the messages. This one says, good morning, Edem. I had a similar situation, but in all, God has been very faithful. This is Nateko. We thank God. It's been hard. Some of the things our mothers have to go through just so that we are where we are today. You know, my mom, for instance, had to take care of 5 children all by herself. Not easy. Edem, I'm listening to your program. I'm listening to the woman who called and shared her story. What she said, which touched me, was visiting antenatal alone without her husband. It's unfortunate with this one. My experience was different from the man. I have 3 children with my wife. I never missed any of the antenatals before. Okay, I worked with an international organization and God made me experience all these without missing any time. There were times when I took them to their monthly visits after birth. That's what it should be, right? That's what it has to be. Really. How are you married and doing it all by yourself? That's what it has to be, really. So those of you who are doing it the right way, keep encouraging the young men who are coming up. But a lot of things are changing. Now I see a lot of young men who are really being the fathers that we desire. It's been such an amazing it's been amazing hearing your guests narrate their single motherhood stories. I hope most young ladies in SHS or tertiary schools will listen to this. Indeed, all things work together for good. That's so true. And this one says that, okay. My name is Ikua from Accra. Please, I need someone to talk to. Do give your phone number. It's urgent, and I am a single mom. So definitely, if it's about single motherhood, any of these mothers will do the work, and they will share their experiences again with you, encourage you, and advise you. Now, let me come back to the studio. I have just 1 minute each for everybody. Miriam, coming back to you, what advice do you have for young people who may be going through some of these challenges, regardless of how they got into this space? They need to make it work anyway.
It has already happened.
Mm.
If you are able to carry this pregnancy for 9 months and the baby comes out, I think it's a good time for bonding. And I also say that parents who neglect their children for these mistakes should rather come close to them, encourage them, support them.
Great.
So that they will not think of anything. It's difficult, and if you don't have the strength to go through it, you eventually break down and you'll be thinking of all sorts of silly things. But if you get the support, and society will try to bring you down, society will say all sorts of things, but I think that we should forget about society, forget about the men who put us in such situations, because if I think this thing also come about when women always want the men to play major roles in their life. When they don't get that, then they break down and try thinking of all sorts of things. We are made as women. I think that God has made us so special to be able to take all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I would advise that just as we've all been through it and our children are now at better places, I think they should also try to go through it no matter what. Just be there, sacrifice for them, and I think
To end in
to
praise.
end in praise.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. Adam, how about you?
And so, for me, I think that she said all. What I added to it, we need a support system. So I have this NGO, Let Single Parents Smile,
Yeah.
where I give them all the support they need, encourage them. Sometimes they'll come, I don't have water. I say, go and, I don't have money to buy pure water. I say, go and boil water and put it in the fridge, or let it cool and then drink it. It's even healthier than the pure water we sell around. So we need to encourage them. He goes up. I mean, it's okay. Listen, it's okay. If you can work at it, it's okay. If you can't work at it, it's okay. So we shouldn't beat ourselves too much to it. But at the end, at the same time, I just have to encourage you. As he said, and yes, Siri, there's
What
nothing
can
you
you
can
do?
do. If you want to throw the baby away, please, I'm here. I love babies. Bring them to me. But don't do that. Just as one step
At a time.
at a time. Take it easy. You have a problem. Whether you like it or not, the sun will shine. It's not because of your problem that the
It
moon will
not
show now.
rain,
It will not
or
rain.
The sun will not shine.
Exactly. So just one step at a time, and then the Almighty God will help you.
Great. Antina, from you finally.
Okay. What I'll say is, it's not an easy situation. No matter which angle you're coming from, whether you have the money to look after the kids or you don't, or you're really, really a single parent. But I would advise that they shouldn't give up. From my experience, I realized that when you're really, really low and you think you have no other way out, somehow God comes through for you. Somehow God opens a door. So they shouldn't give up. They should look up to God. And God will send someone. God will open a door. personally, because of what I've gone through in life, and since my childhood, it hasn't been easy. I I receive people a lot. I welcome people. I try to help people. I counsel a lot in my own way. I don't have a formal counseling background, but people like to share their stories, and I give them all the advice I can give. And if I even have to give them money, my kids always say I'm always giving out my money. I help in many, many ways, any way I can. And I think all women should rally around and look out for people like that. You know,
Great.
they're all around us. They're with us. Let's encourage them as much as we can. Let's help in ways that will make them grow, not make them become dependent on you. And as soon as the money is finished, they're coming. But we'll try and help them to stand and be self-sufficient. It's
Thank you.
possible.
Thank
It's
you.
possible. Others have gone through it and made it. So they
That's
should
it.
be encouraged that if others have made it, they can also
Make it.
make it.
Thank you.
Yes. And they
Thank
should
you
reach
very
out.
much,
Reach out for help.
Antina. Thank you, Edem, and thank you, Miriam. If you're listening and you can avoid the mistakes, you know, especially so when you're young, you're not married, and you can avoid. You're hearing their stories. If you can avoid it, why not? But if you found yourself there, they've told you, find support. It won't be easy. It won't be funny. I mean, from the stories they're sharing, and easy. But then, look around you. Who is able to talk to you? Who is able to encourage you? Not the people who will, end up even making you feel a lot more depressed. But then, when you look at how all their stories have ended, there's always hope. So don't kill yourself. Don't commit suicide. Don't throw your children away. There's always help somewhere. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. Weekend City Show comes up next.
Hello, Ohima. It is